say, Oklahoma State Celestial?
Whew, probably pretty similar, knew both places, I'd think pretty similar, it was probably about this time, that we started developing a, starting unit, and then tried to, narrow it down as the days went on, which, good news, starting, I don't know who's starting, who's not starting right now, but we've been looking for more competition at receiver, and I think we're starting to accomplish that a little bit. Ivan had his best day today. Stedman had his best day today. Tavon probably had his best day yesterday. Second team guys like Millhouse is starting to do just a little bit better, and Davon Brown is starting to kind of do some things. So it's all about competition, and Coach Locke's got the same thing going at corner. Keith had a great pick today. He's solid, you all know that, but that other corner spot, Pat Miller's starting to play pretty good, and a couple of those other guys are pushing them, so BJ had some good plays today, and we just got to keep developing some depth right there, because it's about competition more than anything. Answer your question, yeah, I think so. I think we're pretty similar.
It sounds like you're about as happy as you've been at any practice so far this camp. Is that accurate?
Right now?
Yeah. I mean, you just sound like you're pretty happy with the way things went today compared to some of the other days.
No, I don't think so. We gave up too many big plays on defense, that's for certain, within our team period, The good news is towards the end of the team period, defense made up for that and made up about 3 or 4 pretty good stops. So it's like, I told him, I said, you can't, if it's one-sided, we're not going to be very good. And if we go through a whole day where the offense is good, then defense, we took a step back. If we go through a whole day where the defense is shutting us down offensively, then we took a step back offensively. It's about, like I was saying yesterday, about the balance as far as going back and forth. So 2 weeks, we just need to play football and get better, and watch the film and learn from it, and from a personnel standpoint, find out who's the guys that are going to play, which that's an ongoing battle daily to find out who those guys are. And then after the first 2 weeks are up, then we start kind of narrowing it down a little bit.
Analyze your offensive line for me. What are you thinking of that play? You talked about the backups that we had, but overall.
Barclay is kind of what we thought he was. We're happy with him. He's a good player. Braun, we moved. He was at tackle last year, right? He's a better guard. Madsen's a good center. And he's probably as good a center as I've been around. I think he's a good player. Right guard Tyler Rader, who hasn't played a whole lot around here, is a senior that is getting better. He's kind of filling in there for where Josh would have been, and doing a good job of replacing him. We need a right tackle. That's the biggest concern that we got right now, is right tackle. So we got about 4 bodies. We need one of them to step up. Those first 4 are doing good. They make plenty of mistakes, but the other 6 need to keep getting better. They're not a whole lot better than what I felt like they were a couple days ago.
Would you like to be able to scrimmage a junior college or a West Virginia Athletic Conference college towards the end of camp to get someone else hitting someone else?
Talking about like preseason NFL football, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, considering that they hate it, I assume I'd hate it.
They like the payday, though.
All they talk about is not wanting to do it. I don't have any experience with that, so they're the professionals. So I can see where it would kind of, I don't know. I've never been asked that question before. There'd probably be some advantages to it. I think I'd rather practice against them than like have a full-blown game scrimmage. I've been at like the NFL scrimmages. They bring a camp. They get 2 camps together for like a whole week, and they practice against each other. I think that's a pretty cool deal. I've been to a couple of those. As far as like a game type situation, I don't know.
Coach, you talk a little bit about, being a coordinator in the past, how that maybe influenced you trying to defeat defenses, and now maybe how that affects your philosophy now as a head coach, what you expect from your defense?
Well, that's part of the balance, that, I removed myself from offense. We've talked about this in here before with a couple other guys, but I've removed myself from offense quite a bit. Like even during practice, I'd be, with the offense probably, I'd say 33% of the time. And then the other 66, I'm bouncing around, talking and seeing and evaluating everybody, So I remain, obviously, and, I'm going to call the plays and I signal in a lot of stuff, but, like for the last 12 plays or so tonight, I let somebody else signal those in because I got guys that I trust that can get it called correctly and make good decisions and all the rest, which allows me to, kind of do other things. So it's balanced more than anything.
But how would you describe, from a head coach's standpoint, from your defense, how would you describe the kind of defense that you want to play?
Well, like we do here, I mean, the track record of what it's been here, Jeff and what he's done here and accomplished here is pretty good. I mean, I've went against a lot of defenses that were good, that are different. This one's pretty multiple, which I think matches up to what we do offensively and creates problems for a lot of different offenses. So completely 100% satisfied with what the scheme is, and I haven't sat in one defensive meeting and gave them suggestions on what I feel like they need to do based on the fact that I think they do a really good job.
Talk about the cornerback competition. What have you seen at linebacker between those guys, and obviously there's some spots up for grabs?
Najee Good is a really good football player. He's a leader and is playing well. And is proven to be pretty good. He's kind of the ringleader of that. And then from there you got Casey Vance, which is, an overachiever, which takes a lot of snaps. Doug Riggs coming on, playing well. Josh Francis has got as much ability as anybody on our team. We're just trying to get him pointed in the right direction right now, And Juwan Snow is playing pretty good, So we got 6 bodies there. It's a lot like where we're at receiver. I think we're too deep. It's just a matter of making the decisions on who the starters are and who the backups are. So I think, obviously Jeff's pretty good at it, developing those guys and getting them going in the right direction. So I think we're in pretty good shape. It's just a matter of continuing to evaluate them here for the next couple weeks.
Dana, are you bringing in officials tomorrow? Are you going to have scrimmage?
Yeah, we're going to bring them in. It's not a full scrimmage. We're going to have a normal practice day. They're going to kind of be a part of some of the drills and stuff. And then towards the end, we'll probably maybe a little extended team period. But we're not going to. It's not going to be a set scrimmage thing. It's another practice. We're not ready to scrimmage. One. Just one. Yeah, we'll have one scrimmage next Saturday. But I don't like full day scrimmages. Like we'll take some situations daily and just, those aren't no different than a scrimmage. The scrimmage gets yourself in situations, so we want to dictate what some of those situations are, and we do that daily.
Anything new with the running back competition?
Coach G, did you find a running back yet?
Still looking.
Okay.
Who are we not asking you about? Who's somebody that's caught your eye that you're just not hearing us talk about at all?
Bittencourt, is that how you pronounce his name? He was as good as he's been today. He was, I think, 6 for 6, either 5 for 5 or 6 for 6 in a live situation. And from a time perspective, it was fantastic. So today was his best day, which I think makes everybody in the state happy. I tell you, a guy that I've noticed on the D-line is Will Clark. He's a young guy that's long and rangy and is trying hard and is athletic and is starting to play a little bit, kind of starting to make a few plays. He's showing up a little bit. Ian Smith shows up. And obviously you got guys like Terrence Garvin that you take for granted, but he's been as solid as I've seen. So, that's about it probably.
When you talk about Bittencourt and his timing there, I mean, how precise is that? The difference between his best day and struggling?
Probably 0.15 seconds.
And that makes the
It's
difference.
the difference in, the guy off the edge blocking it. We got one block today. Y'all were there, a lot of you. It's the difference in 0.15 seconds.
Have you settled on return people? Yeah, well, settled. It's too, but just stick Tavon back there and let him do it all, or what are your thoughts on the return game?
Yeah, we need 2 or 3 more of that. If we can find a couple more guys that can do it, I don't know. That's the least of my worries now. They're fielding kicks daily. We got Coach Roberts back there. Coach Sean Dawson's back there just evaluating them catch. The first thing is to find 4 or 5 guys that can catch punts, catch kicks, and then kind of narrow it down based on what we think, which may change, after game 1. That's one thing you can't simulate in practice. You find out which guys will catch it, and then you put them in there, and if it looks good, you keep them. If you don't, you replace them.
Do you have a specific philosophy on the punt return game as far as setting up returns or going after blocks?
Going after blocks is getting harder and harder because all that spread stuff that everybody's doing makes it hard to block. So, you got to go after them every now and then, but it kind of depends on what you see on film from a punt team perspective. If you feel like you got a weak link, or if you can go get it, try to go get it. But you got to be good at the return game because that gets you yards. And if people's operation time is pretty good, you can't get there, then you're wasting your time trying to go get it. So it's week to week.
Coach, you kind of touched on it a little bit when you mentioned the play of one of your players and making everybody in the state happy. What is it like coaching a program where it's like a whole state watching what the program's doing? I mean, basically being the state team in that regard.
Oh, it's good. I'm pretty happy with being here. It probably depends on game day. That's going to dictate a lot of our feelings. So we're going to keep working hard and do the best that we can to put a good product out there. And then once we do that, then we're going to, we're hopefully going to have a whole lot of fun around here. So, all right, guys. See you tomorrow.